joined once again by Ryan James, who's got a big fight coming up here against Andrew Sanchez at the Ultimate Fighter Season 26 finale on December 1st. Ryan, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm excited for my fight.
And yeah, it's going to be a great fight. And I got to mention to our listeners, you're actually not in Victoria right now. You're actually in Milwaukee because you've been training at Roufusport. How did this all come together with you heading down there and training with those guys?
My coach, Adam Zuchek, was like, we needed a bit of a different look for this fight. Being from Victoria, Canada, I don't have a lot of wrestlers around me, and I'm fighting a pretty decent wrestler. So he's like, we've met Duke. I think one of Duke's fighters have been on. So I met him a bunch of times, and Adam was like, "You should get in touch with Duke Rufus and his team, and head down there for this camp. It might be worth your time." He respects Duke a lot as a coach, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Is it weird at all training with a former opponent in Gerald Mershart, who I know is down there training?
No.
You guys,
never.
I know you're Canadian. I mean, you're a respectful guy. Once the fight's over, it's all good after that, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, my philosophy going into a fight is like, I don't hate you, but I don't like you. It's nothing until the fight, and then afterwards, it's what it is, right? It's a sport, it's that competition, and then you fight, and then that's it. And it's good because now I'm able to train. There's nothing weird there, And
it must be nice, too, not having to work, because I know you work a day job in Victoria, so I imagine the focus has just been on fight camp, because I don't imagine you're working down there.
I work remotely a little bit,
okay.
So I am working a bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not completely off the hook, but yeah, it's still, I mean, that's good that you're able to work remotely. That's good.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's been working out, though. Actually, the time difference is what's been helping me.
Right, because I guess for you, what would be the actual time? Because I know in Eastern time, you're only an hour behind me, but I guess it would be 2 hours behind Victoria time or ahead?
Yeah, it's 2 hours from my time. So in Victoria now, it's 7:30.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, so you're 2 hours ahead. That makes sense. There's another Canadian down there training with you guys. I know he's in a different weight class, but John McDessie's down there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, John McDessie showed up there a little while ago to do his camp down here now, yeah.
That's good. Get a little bit of Canadian flavor down there, right? Because I imagine you're kind of the lone wolf as far as the red, white, and blue. Sorry, red and white, not the blue. Yeah. I don't know why I said the blue, but yeah.
I didn't even notice.
It's early.
No, but it's cool. But I mean, everybody's been super nice. It's been very it's weird. It's very familiar to me. Like, it's not like I was a little nervous going into a new gym, and then right away, everyone's been so welcoming. It's like, hey, what can I do for you? If you ever need anything, if you ever need to drive anywhere, like everything else. Like, so it's been super familiar in that way. It almost feels like my home gym. How nice everyone's been being and welcoming. So it hasn't been too bad. I haven't been like a lone wolf, so to speak.
No. And I know I know a lot of the fighters over at Roufusport. I've interviewed a bunch of them, and I know how much of a family atmosphere it's like there. So I'm glad they've sort of brought you in, and things are working out great, because you seem in a good mood. If you were kind of depressed, I'd kind of pick up on it, but you seem like you're doing well, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, it's hard being away from my girl who's pregnant right now.
I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, she's having a bit of a rough time, and we have an 8-month-old puppy that I was mainly taking care of.
So now she has to take care of him. Yeah.
So now she's got to take care of him too, and he's a little corgi, so he's kind of like got a lot of energy and kind of everywhere. So she's struggling a little bit being up in Victoria. So, and but beyond that, when it comes to training though, I felt this has been good. Might as well kind of like this. This is kind of my last real big go at it, so might as well go all in, get the full meal deal, get a training camp somewhere else,
and have no regrets. How long is your girlfriend? When are you expecting, or when is she expecting?
March, late March.
Awesome. We're expecting. And do you know the sex yet, or are you going to wait?
We know, but we're holding off telling anybody.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you. I just had my wife just had a son in September, so we're first time parents, and it's crazy, man. It's a crazy ride. I imagine this is your first, right? Correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Just double checking. Didn't want to get that wrong.
Yeah, I know. You never know, right? I'm not young, so I could have 5 kids right now.
Fair enough. Let's quickly talk about your last fight against Jack Marshman. I know things didn't go your way in that one. You got to do some traveling, which was kind of cool for that fight. But what did you sort of take away from that performance? Again, fans were entertained, but you didn't come out on top in that one.
No, like that was it was a pretty close fight. I kind of took out I should trust my instincts a little more. There's a moment in the second round where obviously hindsight's 2020, but I kind of had that thought in the fight of now's the time to start pushing harder. And I didn't until like a minute or so after, which kind of I lost the round because of that. And if I had to push then, I would have taken it. And I think it's just to trust my instincts in the cage a little more, Not that I have so much experience, I got to rely on that and just go with it. Yeah, there was a clear moment when I kind of heard his corner, like I kind of stepped forward and I heard his corner saying, "Don't let him." And then I kind of went back to kind of like circling out of his power range when I was like, at that moment, I should have kept pushing forward at him. And he would have, what happened in the third probably would have happened earlier in the fight.
Okay. Well, that's good. You sort of were able to take that away, from that matchup, because you're taking on a real tough guy in this fight. In Andrew Sanchez, of course, he won the Ultimate Fighter. How do you see yourself matching up against him in this fight?
This is a bit different. Like my last few opponents, I matched up really well. This one I matched up pretty good, except in a kind of a different way. His strength is not really my strength, but my strength isn't really his strength.
Yeah, I kind of looked at it too, because your stand-up's really good. He's more of like a wrestler, and you're a lot of your past opponents have been sort of brawlers, if that's kind of a good way of putting it.
Yeah, brawlers or like more straight boxers or more jiu-jitsu, where he's just more wrestling. So I feel like that's like and like I have good cardio. He kind of fades a bit at the end. So it's kind of like that's where it's going to clash. Can he get me down consistently, and can he do that hard for 3 rounds?
Right. Yeah, exactly. We talked about your training camp off the top. How have you split your training camp as far as training at Zuma and then training at Roufusport? How have you sort of divided the time up?
I try to get down here as early as I could. So let's just say, like in an 8-week camp, I started at Zuma, working my, some technical stuff, getting my weight down. I just started getting into sparring and doing grappling rounds. And then in late October 21st, I came down here, and it's just been all down here.
Nice. So you've been there for a while. That's good. You're getting lots of time.
Yeah. And then I go back to Victoria November 21st, and then I head down to the event the week after that. So pretty much most of my camp is here.
Excellent. Okay, that sounds good. I was going to say one of your training partners back at Zuma, he's got a big fight coming up next week. Tyler Dolby. I know different. I know
big Tyler.
I know different weight class, but title fight for him and BFL. So that's obviously kind of a bummer. You can't go out for that one, but it's going to be a good fight. I know he'll be.
I hope so. I think so. He's been training hard.
He just can't get a fight. That's been his biggest problem. He's talented. He's not getting the fights, right? So.
Yeah. He's had a few of his ups and downs, and but it's good that he's getting this opportunity. The guy is super athletic, and he's really trained hard for this fight from like before I left, and then obviously that continued. From what I could tell, so I'm really excited for him, and that it's all kind of coming together for him. From the pictures, he's looking good. But no, I could be more proud of the guy. He's going to go in there, and I think he's going to smash it. He performs well under pressure, and I think this is perfect for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as far as your corner, because I guess he'll have Adam Zuchek and Sarah in his corner for that fight, Sarah Kaufman. So I'm guessing for your fight, you'll have them as well, because there's a bit of a gap between the fights.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They'll be with me for my fight. And one of the Roufusport coaches will also be in my corner.
Do you know which Roufusport coach yet, or are you guys still figuring that out?
I think Scott Cushman will be in my corner.
Coach. Nice, that's good. Yeah. Okay, excellent. We talked a bit about obviously being at Roufusport, training partners, main guys. I know there's a lot of middleweights there. Who are some of the main ones you've been working with aside from Gerald Mershart? I imagine like Mike Biggie Rhodes, guys like that.
Yeah, Mike Rhodes. They've been most of my training partners. Jeez.
Bad with names.
Cam.
I know it's tough because you've been there for not that long, but it's
yeah, I'm just this guy Cam. He was on the Contender Series.
Cameron Olsen, of course. Yeah.
Yes,
he's supposed to be fighting on an LFA card coming up in I think in December as well. So I guess the timing's pretty good. So that's good. Captain Crunch.
He's been helping too. So there's been a lot of good fighters with good experience that really pushed me for this camp. And they've been super helpful. Like Biggie and Gerald have been my biggest helps for this fight, along with the coaches, of course. But as the fighters come along, so it's been really great. Biggie's been a big help. Yeah,
and he's a great guy too. I'm sure to just get to hang out with and stuff. He's got a really good personality. I imagine you talked about dropping the weight, getting to 85. Everything going according to plan so far as getting down to 85.
Always, it's nothing, easy peasy. Like the weight has never been my issue.
Yeah. No, you always make weight. I mean, it was just
it's never not hard, and it's never affected me in my performance in the fight. Like so, it's going good. Yeah, I'm excited. Despite the outcomes that haven't always been in my favor. At least I've kind of like before I got signed, like when you're kind of imagining it in your head, I was like, there's a few things I want to do. One of them I wanted to fight in Halifax because it's the closest thing I'm going to get to fight in Newfoundland. I lived in Scotland for a few months, so I was hoping to fight there. I think I told you that before, so I kind of got that opportunity. And then it's Vegas because Vegas is the mecca, right, for my sport. So I'm getting to fight in Vegas too. So despite everything, at least I'm kind of getting what I want in a weird way.
No, and I mean, that's great. And you've had good performances. I mean, I don't think anyone can say you've been in a boring fight. It's not like you're, going out there. The losses you have had, they're close fights for the most part, other than the Gerald Mershart one. But again, I mean, Gerald's a tough guy, and, it's not like you're, anyways. But, you get what I'm saying. Exactly.
I know what you're saying, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, just trying to make me feel bad. If I wasn't depressed, I am now. It's okay.
Fair enough. Okay. December 1st, how do you sort of see this fight ending? Because, again, you must have a lot of confidence going into this one, knowing that you're training with really top-level guys at Roufusport.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say can't say the finish, but I would say finished in the third. I would guess.
Excellent. Yeah, because, again, the cardio and all that, I mean, you're really that.
Yeah, I say competitive first round and a better second round for me, and then finishing in the third.
Okay, so you've had a bit of downtime, I'm sure, aside from the work you're doing remotely. But being in Milwaukee, I'm sure you're getting in a little bit of TV time. Am I imagining just because you're by yourself and all that?
Yeah, a lot of Netflix.
Okay, so what are you watching? If I hacked into your account right now and I looked under continue watching, what is it going to say?
Well, I was going to say, I binge watched Stranger Things season 2
like everyone,
and a half. I rewatched Parks and Rec. I finished watching what's on Netflix of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and now I'm lost. Because everything else I'm either saving to watch with my girlfriend or
yeah, I got the same deal. Same here. I have to wait till it all works out. So
I know. So I'm like, I have no idea what to watch now. Okay. Know anything good? Let me know.
I'm just trying to think what I'm even. I mean, I like Trailer Park Boys, so I rewatch that a lot. But I don't know if that's. Have you tried to get into it at all, or?
No, I don't know why, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Fair enough.
I couldn't. I know people will probably be like, no way.
No, I get it. It's not everyone's taste.
Are
you into okay, I've been preaching this one a lot. Are you into crime dramas and stuff like documentary? Okay, the confession tapes. Check that one out. And the reason I think you might find it a bit interesting is each episode it's about these people who have confessed to crimes, and by all the evidence, it looks like they have not committed those crimes. The first story is actually about these two kids from North Vancouver, so you might actually find that interesting, being someone who lives in BC now and kind of seeing the case and everything. So the confession tapes, when I get this interview up, go rewatch and you can jot it down. But
that'd be awesome. Yeah, have you watched Mindhunters yet?
It's on my list. Everyone, literally every fighter I've talked to has been like, yeah, you got to watch it. So
that was a good one. That's a good one. I read about some of the stuff afterwards because it's all based on real stories, and it was super interesting.
Okay. Gotcha. I will. I will definitely jot that one down. And we certainly got to check out your fight, man. It's the Ultimate Fighter season 26 finale coming up here December 1st. Ryan, always a pleasure, and even bigger thanks for the fact that you're doing this remotely. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, check me out on Twitter at Ryan Janes MMA. Instagram is RYR Janes. And I'd just like to thank everyone at Roufusport, Duke Rufus and them, who really kind of took me in, and it's really been a great help. And then, of course, my home gym, Zuma Martial Arts, Adam Zuchek and Sarah Kaufman, everyone there. They know I miss them and love them. and I'll see him on the 21st for a few days.